We said if we got 200 patrons, we would watch The Cage, and now we are well over 200 patrons. Almost at 250, actually, as the day of recording this. If it's your first time here, we watched all of Star Trek, the original series, and we're on a journey to watch all of Star Trek in the original air date release order. So because of that, we never watched The Cage, and after getting dozens upon dozens of requests to watch it, probably over hundreds at this point, we said if we hit that 200 goal, we would, and today's finally the day. We can no longer escape The Cage.
We can no longer, that's good, we can no longer escape the cage, but we will never continue. Star Trek continue. I couldn't think of anything.
Wait,
we don't have William Shatner yet.
yeah, what was I expecting in the intro? Oh, wow.
Oh, that's weird.
I mean, just think, this is before, I mean, this was their first shot at anything.
Ooh. Oh my God.
Definitely something out there, Captain. Headed this way.
Man, look how young he looks.
Yeah, we've seen older Spock in the movies more than we've seen younger Spock on this TV.
Coming the speed of light.
Yeah, Nurse Chapel was the number 2.
Oh, wow.
Number 4 seems to be Class M. Oxygen atmosphere.
Dude, thank God they didn't keep his eyebrows like that.
Yeah, Jesus.
If they survive the crash.
We aren't going to go? To be certain?
Not without any indication of survivors, no.
I wonder who came in and said, add some red and add some brighter colors in there. Get rid of those stupid collars that look like, you know, they're winter sweaters.
John Hoyt.
I'm tired of being responsible for 203 lives, and I'm tired of deciding which mission is too risky.
The budget was so cheap they had half the crew.
Ride out with a picnic lunch every day.
I said that's one place I might go. There's a whole galaxy of things to choose from.
Not for you.
They really went right in with the character stuff. Setting up this burnt out captain.
We're intercepting a follow-up message, sir. There are crash survivors on TOS.
They haven't figured out Spock yet, though.
Oh, no.
Definitely tell, I think Leonard Nimoy's the one who figured it out and, like, honed it.
As I read it, they polarize out as rounded metal bits.
Could be parts of a spaceship hull.
Equip a landing party of 6.
Like, imagine being any one of these actors who, like, was in this pilot, and then they just, like, scrap your pilot and end up doing the show anyway without you. Like, obviously for Jeffrey Hunter, but, like, even just any of these background actors, like, yeah, I did a pilot, I got picked up, but I wasn't in it.
Yeah, it's like, you're in the shot, move. Oh, sorry.
It's, like, so interesting, because, like, obviously we know where this goes, but, like, the fact that they have to, you know, fill all this in, because there's no B story of Kirk, you know, and everything.
Oh, yeah.
That was a pretty good set for a pilot.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah, Spock smiling is never not weird.
That's why they didn't pick up the pilot right there. The bluest eyes of all time.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
Dina. Her parents are dead.
They got you twice with that. Whoa!
I remember these bastards.
Appear to be healthy and intelligent, Captain. Prime specimen.
I didn't get that last message, Captain.
Yeah, I don't mind Pike. I think we're just really missing that Kirk charm.
Yeah, I mean, Kirk had just that natural charisma, you know.
He was the perfect captain, both sides of the coin.
You're a perfect choice.
I'm just picturing Al from Quantum Leap walking in. What's going on? Oh,
aliens.
I remember how it ends for Pike at the very end. But what? Oh wait, him ending up in that chair was a completely unrelated incident.
That was all made up.
Yeah.
Like, the whole thing's made up at the show, but. What the? Okay, that's new.
Yeah, definitely don't remember this. You can see the human skin.
You couldn't see it on a 60s TV.
Yeah, no.
This would have terrified me as a kid, though. It really puts the whole like zoo element in more to it.
Yeah, yeah.
Like you can kind of tell right off the bat, like, oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like that TAS episode as well.
Now, unless you want my ship to consider capturing me an unfriendly act.
You now see the primitive fear threat reaction. We can transmit the ship's power against it. Enough to blast half a continent.
Look. Brains 3 times the size of ours.
Police sketch.
Have you seen this man? Beautiful.
That's awesome.
Starting just as it happened 2 weeks ago.
No, this is one of the greatest fights in all of the series.
Yeah, it's slowly coming back to me.
Oh! Yeah. Got him.
Right in the ass.
Oh no!
With how big that thing was, I should have.
Impaled right through him?
Yeah. That's alright. That's alright. Shit.
If the form is not appealing, it can appear as any food you wish to visualize.
Yeah, wait, why would it talk? Like, it can hear their telepathic. You know what I mean? Like, why would it just decide to actually speak? I don't know. Oh, yeah. Send them to hell.
Maybe the actor playing the television realized they were going to dub over their voice and they wouldn't get as much pay as if they had speaking lines. It's like, whoa. No.
You want some coffee, dear?
This is what he talked about, what his dream retirement would be.
Tango. You old devil, you. Well, they think of everything, don't they?
I mean, they can literally see your thoughts, so.
I hope you're hungry. These little white sandwiches are your mother's recipe for chicken tuna.
I want to know what chicken tuna is.
I don't want to know.
It's like there's chicken, and then there's tuna. What, is it just a mix?
We're in a menagerie, a cage.
No.
Oh, he said them both.
Whoa!
Is that why they want us? To build a colony of slaves?
Stop.
We're in some pilot test episode.
Oh boy, here we go.
Meet at any social gathering. This is too much. I'm out of here.
Now, we've located a magnetic field.
It's funny that like Spock is in this episode, like just in the background. Oh yeah, and they only take the women. Yep.
The women!
Because Vina wasn't.
The women!
Captain.
No, let me finish.
We've all been there, am I right?
He doesn't need you. He's already picked me.
Uh-oh, the first pick-me girl.
There was a Vina listed on that expedition as an adult crewman. Now, adding 18 years to your age then.
She was about to call her old as hell.
She often has fantasies involving you.
Yo!
What?
He's sold.
Can you read these thoughts? Images of hate, killing.
The other new arrival.
I love that they're both just ignoring each other.
Primitive thoughts.
Like, come on. Come on, dude.
I forgot about that.
Your ship, release me, or we'll destroy it.
You know how with the whole like Dropbox thing, drop it and close it, not just open a door and stick something in there and hope. For a genius species, it seems pretty dumb.
History of your race show a unique hatred of captivity. This makes you too violent and dangerous a species for our needs.
They can't use you. You're free to go back to the ship.
Yeah, I got that.
They had to translate it.
I can't go with you.
Sir, it just came on. We can't shut the power off.
Mr. Spock here.
Oof.
Looks better than old Kirk.
This is the female's true appearance.
Yeah, because her ship crashed, right?
They had no guide putting me back together.
Couldn't they read her mind before they put her back together? So that she can see what she looked like?
What's happened to Vina? Isn't she coming with us?
No, and I agreed with her reasons.
Yeah, you look 100% better. You recommended a rest and change of pace, didn't you? Mm-hmm. I've even been home. Engage.
And that's it. So they didn't pick up the pilot, and they never made this show.
Yeah, what a neat little, what a odd little Star Trek. I already fucked it up. Well, that was fascinating to go turn back the clock and just see things before they had it all figured out. See, you know, those ugly yellows and blues before they, you know, brought in the reds and really brightened them up a bit. Those horrible collars, because, you know, the Star Trek shirts, instead of those collars, they had like the black undershirt that looked like 10 times better. What else? Even though we saw the menagerie, I was still like surprised by some of the things that happened in this and was intrigued. And for an hour and 3 minutes, it didn't really feel like it. It felt like a classic length of a Star Trek episode.
Yeah, it's very interesting because it's like, you know, had this been like the typical 50 minutes, you know, probably would have felt really jam-packed, but it had a little bit more room to breathe. It's interesting to think that had they like put just like 10-15 more minutes into this, they could have just made it like a TV movie of the week, you know, just like an interesting plot. But for what it is, I thought it was really good. You know, the Menagerie has been an episode I've always enjoyed, you know, of the original series when we watched it, only the two-parter, obviously. And while some of the things that make that two-parter so great, like the reveals and stuff, aren't here from the B story, but this episode on its own still did a really good job. I think obviously you're missing all the key, you know, members of the crew, all those hallmarks of Star Trek aren't in here. So I kind of figured, you know, kind of thought this one more of just kind of like a one-off interesting sci-fi story that I think they were successful in. If we had somehow a way to track what was like the most used word in our comments on our channel of all time, the number one thing would be too cerebral from how many comments we've gotten. The original Star Trek pilot was called Too Cerebral. We've probably gotten like 10,000 people comment that.
Really?
Yeah, about this. And I get it. I get why, you know, a studio executive would watch this pilot and be like, oh, this is a little too deep, a little too much, you know, for normal audiences. Let's lighten it up a little bit. Because it is kind of a very heavy story. I mean, going right in with, you know, Captain Pike, like, wanting to retire and being done with, you know, Starfleet and all these things. It's not even called Starfleet, but, you know, him having to go through being presented with his version of paradise to realize he wants to be a captain. It's a pretty deep character story, you know, for a pilot, for a first episode. So, I can see that. And, yeah, I liked it all around. I mean, it just reminded me how much I love the show, honestly.
Yeah, as much as it did, it also made me miss how much I miss William Shatner at that prime time. Spock when he's acting like Spock and not a little bit too loud, a little bit too whatever he was in this. It's so fascinating to see just things not figured out yet. And you can tell like that other guy was like the mold, like was a good mold. Like they started figuring out the doctor and captain relationship. And they see what happened with Pike and the doctor in this one. And they just had to tweak a couple things, bring in the right people, and then made it work. I think that guy would have made a fine doctor. I'm not. I don't think he. He's a Bones or anything. I don't think he's on that level, but I think he would have hung at least. Up there. I think he could have hung up there with Spock and Kirk, like that actor. But I don't know. But I feel like it was meant for
DeForest Kelly.
DeForest Kelly.
Yeah, I mean, but John Hoyt was the doctor, and he's shown up in recently. He showed up in an episode of Battlestar Galactica that we watched. He was in one of my favorite episodes of The Twilight Zone. Great actor. So he would have done a great job. But yeah, I mean, you can't. Now that history's been done the way it has, it's hard to go back and imagine as anything else, right? But it does kind of give me a little bit of a sneak peek into being prepared to go into the next generation, where we are going to have a completely different cast, still within Star Trek, and how that's going to feel. It's going to be weird. But yeah, all around, we've kind of made a meme out of watching this because of how many people have requested it, over the past year or so. It's been about a year and a half since we've watched the Menagerie. So
holy shit.
Even though a lot of the stuff was very familiar and I remembered it, it had been quite a while since I actually saw it. So even though a lot of it was re-seeing the material, it was still felt, fresh and an enjoyable watch. So I liked it a lot, and that's it, man. Officially, we've even watched the unaired episode. We've watched everything there is for the original series, so.
Someone's gonna comment that we missed something. And,
yeah.
Oh, you guys didn't watch blah blah blah. I'm like, nope. We've done it all, and it's kind of sad. That was like the one last thing, like keeping us sort of like linked to that era, and it's over.
We based it on hitting 200 patrons, but it was kind of a natural time to watch us as well, kind of, finish it off before we get into next generation. So glad that we finally watched it, and hey, thank the patrons. If you're not one and you're watching this on YouTube, thank the people who have signed up and joined our Patreon that, for us watching this episode. And if you are a patron, thank you very much. We appreciate it. Thank you for being part of the target audience.
Absolutely. Thank you. See ya.
We got to come up with something.